Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be all about how to get a simple makeup look that can make you look like you just woke up like this. As you saw previously, I'm a normal person. I wake up like everybody else. I know some people are lucky enough to look flawless when they wake up. I am not one of them. So if you are interested in seeing how I got my I woke up like this look, then just keep watching. Alright, so the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is I go and I wash my face with my CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. This is just a really gentle cleanser, and I find that in the morning I really don't need anything harsh because I took off my makeup the night before, and really I'm just trying to get any excess oils that have been produced on my face overnight off of my face. So I just go into the bathroom, wash my face with like lukewarm water, and then afterwards I pat dry my face. And I like to use this facial oil in the morning, and this is by Acure, and it's their Marula oil. I've been really loving it because, I mean, you guys know I have really oily skin, but this oil does not add any extra greasiness to my skin. It just makes it really hydrated and supple and kind of just gives it like a plumping effect, just because I feel like it's really hydrating and really locks in the moisture. So I just did that in the bathroom. I didn't show it on camera because it's like really boring, but that's what I did. So Acure Marula oil I am loving lately. Next, I'm going to go in with a primer, and today we are actually not going to be using foundation, but even on days where I'm not going to be using foundation, I find that using a primer just still helps the skin look smoother, it minimizes your pores, and it also just helps concealer stay on. So I would recommend still using a primer, and today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. I've been really loving this primer. It is a really kind of smooth consistency. It's not very silicone-y. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what this is. I got like a hair in here. It's not very silicone-y. It's more like a lotion, but it just like almost dries to like a powder-like finish. It's just really beautiful on the skin, and it has really filled in my pores, and it helps my makeup stay on like all day. So I've been really loving it. It's also only, I believe it's like $3.50. So I just pumped some of this on my face, and I'm pretty generous with my primer just because, you know me, I'm not really light-handed when it comes to anything. So I just put this primer on any areas that I have enlarged pores, and I kind of just use little tapping motions, and this just really helps the product get deep down into the pores and create that kind of airbrushed look with my skin, especially areas like my chin that I tend to need a little more cover up. I really try to focus on that area. So with any extra, I just kind of bring it down to the rest of my face. Now we're going to go in with concealer, and today I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and this one is in the color Light. And normally I would be going in with my Tarte Shape Tape lately because that's just kind of been my favorite. But because that one, I just got a shade that's like super light, I would recommend that whenever you're doing a kind of I woke up like this, no makeup look, don't use a concealer that's crazy light, just because it's going to look a lot more noticeable. You're going to want something that's just barely lighter than your skin tone already. It's going to look a lot more natural. So that's why I'm going in with this one, because this shade is not too light on me. So I am just going to put this under my eyes. I'm not going down crazy far just because I really don't want a ton of coverage with this look. And then I'm also going to take it I have like a couple areas on my chin right now that are kind of discolored from breaking out last week. So I'm going to take my damp beauty blender, and I am just going to start to blend all of this concealer out. Next, I'm going to be going in with a pigmented powder. This is something that I do just to give my blemishes extra coverage, and I'm going in with the Maybelline Mineral powder. This is discontinued at most stores, but you can get it on Walmart.com. I know that's really random, but it's like, this is a product that I've used since high school, and I'll probably never stop using it. And I'll link it down below where you can get it, but I just really like this powder. This one is in the color Classic Ivory. It's a little bit pinky for my skin tone, but I only use like a dot of it, and then I go in with a dense concealer brush, and I just like put a little bit on the tip of it, and then I just go over any blemishes that are like peeking through the concealer. This also helps set your concealer, and this really helps your makeup not look very caked on, because this is just like mineral powder, but it gives a good amount of coverage. Now I'm just gonna go in with my NYX HD finishing powder. This is what it looks like. It's just a white powder. And I'm gonna go in with this tapered brush, and this is by e.l.f. And I'm just going to lightly set my under eyes. I like this powder because it's very finely milled, so it will not show up on your skin. It's not gonna look cakey at all, but I do think it's important to still set your under eyes just so that your concealer will last throughout the day. I'm also gonna take that down on my chin area and any other areas on my face that I feel tend to get a little more oily. I'm just packing that powder on. And then I'm just gonna take my big Real Techniques fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna put that in the powder, and I'm just gonna lightly put that on any areas that I missed with the little brush. To give the face a little bit of color, I'm gonna be going in with my Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. This bronzer is a lighter shade. I don't want anything too pigmented just because I want it to look natural. Side note about this bronzer, oh my gosh, it smells like you're on vacation. Like, whew, it just smells like, that really good like tanning oil or something. So if you're into good scents, this bronzer smells amazing. So I'm just gonna go in with my e.l.f. Kabuki brush. This is my favorite brush to put on bronzer. I love big fluffy brushes when it comes to bronzer. And I'm just gonna lightly put this in the product, and I'm definitely not going to contour. I'm actually just lightly tapping this bronzer kind of where the sun would naturally hit my face. When you're trying to look like you're not wearing makeup, you just want to make sure that you put any kind of bronzer where the sun could have actually hit your face, because obviously if you put bronzer just in your contours, like, that doesn't look very natural. It can be beautiful, but if you're trying to look like you're not wearing makeup, it's just not gonna get the job done. So I just barely like tapped it on my shoulders. What am I even saying? On my cheeks, and it just creates a really nice natural kind of finish. Oh my gosh, from smelling the bronzer, I have like a dot of bronzer just on my nose. We're not gonna use blush because I just find that blush is really hard to make it look like you're not wearing makeup. So whenever I have these days where I'm waking up like this, I only wear bronzer. Because we want to look really glowy, I am going to go in with my Becca highlighter in Champagne Pop. And this is a step that you have to be very light-handed, because obviously we don't actually wake up with highlighter on our face. But in order to get that like J-Lo effect that I would hope I woke up with, I just barely tap my brush in the highlighter, and I even like knock off some product. Like, I really don't want a ton of stuff on my face right now. I just like barely bounce it on the very top part of my cheeks. It's almost not even noticeable, but it just adds just a teeny bit of glow to the skin. And then I just barely put it on my Cupid's bow. Moving on to eyebrows, I'm gonna go in with my Benefit Precisely Brow Pencil. This is in the shade number 3. And I am just going to barely brush out my brows. I think it's really important when you do these kind of looks just to brush out your brows so that they just don't look like crazy. Because whenever I wake up from, you know, actually sleeping, my brows are kind of going every which way. So brush out your brows, and then we're not going to fill them in very much. We're only going to do small brush light strokes wherever you have patches in your eyebrows. So like for me, right here is an area that I just have a little bit more just issues with patchiness and not quite as strong. And I would recommend not drawing on a small tail, and then also not doing anything in this area. So just where you have patchiness, and like I barely touched this to my eyebrows. Like, I'm just doing a little bit. And then after you're done filling those in just a little bit, take this brush again and then brush it out. You just make sure that you cannot see any detection of the pencil. I think that just like adds just a little bit of definition, but you still look really natural. Next, I'm just going to barely put a little bit of this Becca highlighter. Again, not a lot of product. And I am just barely touching it to the inner corner of my eye, and that just gives it a little bit more of an open effect, and it just makes you look like you're really well rested. And then with what's left on my brush, I like so barely even touch my skin with it, but I just put a little bit underneath my brow just to add like a little bit of a highlight. So it's optional. I know some people really just have to curl their lashes. For me, it's kind of like, it's one of those things where I do it, but like on days like this where I'm trying to look super natural, I usually don't curl my lashes just because I think it kind of gives it away a little more that you're wearing makeup. So to make my lashes darker and soft but not clumpy at all, because you know, obviously for a no makeup look, you're wanting your lashes to look like lashes. You don't want them to look like they have product on them, but you also want them to be separated. You want them to be darker so that they emphasize your eyes more. So that's why I always go in with my Lash Blast Volume by Covergirl in these scenarios, and I'm also using it in the color brown. So because I'm a blonde, I don't want to have black lashes because that just looks like makeup. So this one is a dark brown color, and it really helps it look a lot more natural. So whenever you're trying to make your lashes look like you're not wearing makeup, start at the root of your lashes and kind of just bounce the wand into the lashes instead of going all the way through the lashes, if that makes sense. So just bounce it on your underneath your lashes, and then barely flick the brush up. You just don't want a lot of product on the ends of your lashes because that's where you want them to look really wispy. So you can see the difference between this one. I just put a little bit of mascara and it just helps it stand out a little bit, whereas this one is just a lot lighter. So for lips, it's really important to have a really exfoliated lips because we're actually just going to wear chapstick because we just don't want it to look like we're trying very hard. So I usually go in with a lip scrub. This is Mint Juleps by Lush, and just take a little bit of this on your finger and just scrub your lips. The best part about this product is you can lick it off because it's actually edible. It's just sugar. Sometimes I just want to be like, so good. It also freshens your breath, so you don't even have to brush your teeth in the morning. I'm just kidding, brush your teeth. As you can see, my lips are exfoliated, and I'm just gonna go in with chapstick, and Blistex is my favorite brand. I know everyone's always like, it's either chapstick or Blistex or whatever. I've always been a Blistex girl. I just think it works better than chapstick, but that's my personal opinion, so you don't have to take it. All right, so final step. This is just gonna make sure that any kind of powder that we put on, even though the bronzer and the HD powder that I put on is very finely milled and pretty much undetectable, just to make sure that our skin looks like we have nothing on it, I like to go in with some Rosewater and glycerine spray, and this is also kind of doubles as a moisturizer. So this just helps your skin look glowing and radiant and just like super supple. So I like to spray this on when I'm doing this look.
Yeah.